Today I have some short reviews for you. This was a big weekend in music and I couldn't review everything, so I thought it would be a good idea to talk about some new albums that just came out the weekend of September 1st, 2023. I will only spend about a minute or two on each album, and I have 7 albums to review. The reviews will be for both rock and metal albums. Let's start with Fatalism by Polaris. Now, the first album, it's a metalcore band and kind of sounds like what you would expect. They have both clean and harsh vocals, lots of heavy guitars and breakdowns. The album has 11 songs and is 46 minutes long. Thought it was pretty good. I don't think they're doing anything new. Just what you would expect. I thought the song Parasites sounded a little like Hybrid Theory era Linkin Park. The song Far Away had this emo sound mixed with metalcore that was apparent in some of the vocal styles. Then there was a song called The Crossfire that I liked because it had some electronic elements and a cool guitar riff. That song in particular reminded me a little of the band Architects. There was a ballad called After Thought or After Tough or something like that. Came towards the end of the album. It was pretty good. Overall, my score is a 7 out of 10. Add a point if you're a big metalcore fan. Next is Back to the Water Below, the 4th studio album by the English rock duo Royal Blood. It was also released on September 1st, 2023 through Warner Records. The album was produced by the band themselves. This is one of those bands I've heard of, I never really listened to, so I'm going into this as a newcomer to the band. It's a short album. It has 10 songs in 31 minutes. The band reminded me of some of those 2000s garage rock revival bands like The Killers or The Strokes, but with more of an electronic sound. The guitars were still distorted and the songs are pretty good. I like track number 3 called Pull Me Through. That one reminded me of Radiohead. And then 3 songs had this like Beatles or Oasis type of sound. They were The Firing Line, There Goes My Cool, and How Many More Times. Thought it was pretty good. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. It was a solid album. Next is Slowdive, Everything Is Alive. This is a very popular shoegaze band, and I know very little about shoegaze. So for those of you who watch my channel, you know I do a lot of collaborations with the Chill Dude on the Couch Reviews and the Green Man channel. They have a lot of shoegaze videos on their channel, but every time I do a shoegaze video, I leave the Zoom meeting because I know nothing about this subgenre. Now, this album wasn't too bad. It kind of made me sleepy listening to it. I think I like the song Kisses the best. I know that was one of the singles, but it had more of a modern rock sound, and I like the melody. The guitar playing on Kisses was also pretty cool. I like that. But overall, it was okay. I need to spend some more time with it. For now, I'll give it a 7 out of 10, but I have to listen to it multiple times to get into it more. Maybe I can update my score later, but for now, that is it. Next is Escape the Fate with Out of the Shadows. So when I saw that this was released, I saw the name. It struck a bell with me, and then at first I couldn't think of where I'd heard the name of the band, but then I remembered that this was the band that kicked Ronnie Radke out before he formed Falling Reverse. This was not bad. It was kind of similar to Falling Reverse. It had a pop punk and emo type of sound, but I thought some of the playing was pretty good. They had some neoclassical influence in some of the guitar playing. Some of the songs were catchy for the most part. The vocals were mostly pop punk or emo style. Then there were times they had some harsh vocals. Some songs were metalcore, sounding like the song, for example, the song Low was metalcore. Then the last song on the album had Spencer Charnes from Ice Nine Kills. So it was a fun album. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. It's for fans of emo music, and some of the guitar riffs were pretty good. Next is Stitched Up Heart with To the Wolves. This is a female-fronted rock band. It was interesting that the first song on the album was also with the band Escape the Fate. So it was another short album with 11 songs in 35 minutes. It was just okay. It reminded me of the band Disturbed or like the Butcher Babies, but with more electronic and futuristic sounds. Sometimes they sounded like that dial-up internet sounds when you had to connect to the internet with your phone back in the early 2000s or late 90s. And the vocals were good. Most of the times they were clean vocals. Sometimes there were some harsh death metal style vocals. And some of the song, the band can also sound like metalcore at times with some of the guitar riffs. And I thought the song called Immortal was pretty good. One of the heavier ones, but as a whole, the album was just okay. It didn't really get into this one. So for me, I'll give this a 6.5 out of 10. It's probably for those who like that electronic metalcore style music. Next is Eclipse with Megalomanium. So this is a Swedish hard rock band from Stockholm. They formed in 1999. The band was formed by singer, guitarist, and bassist Eric Martinson and drummer keyboardist Andreas Berlin. I reviewed the last album 2 years ago. I think this band is more prevalent in Europe. I don't believe they are very well known in America. This is some catchy hard rock that sounds like 80s glam, maybe like a cross between Journey and Bon Jovi. Very family-friendly rock music. You can probably play this at a kid's birthday party and no one would be like offended. Most of the lyrics are cheesy love song lyrics. The album's not too long either. It's 11 songs and 38 minutes. I like the song called Got It. The song has this very infectious chorus. Most of these songs have this magical Swedish formula for writing catchy pop songs. I also thought that the song Anthem was maybe one of the weaker ones in the album, but Children of the Night, the one that came right after it, was one of my favorites. It had like a slightly harder edge to it. I probably could have done a full review, but I'm going to end it here. My score is a solid 8 out of 10, like most of their other albums. And I'm going to do one more, and that is Asking Alexandria with Where Do We Go From Here. This one actually came 2 weeks. This one came out 2 weeks ago, but I missed it. So they're a very well-known band. I guess you can call it metalcore, post-hardcore, screamo. I never really listened to them. I'm sure I've heard some of the songs before. I read a few reviews. They called this album in particular like melodic metalcore. So I would say that's accurate. I thought it had very polished production with some songs sounding like modern pop with an R&B sound and others with like a heavier metalcore sound. Some of the songs are pretty catchy. I like the song Let the Dead Take Me. I thought that was one of the standouts. Kill It With Fire was pretty good. That was a heavy song. It was like hardcore punk. It was only like 1:07 long. And then another song that stood out on the album was the last song, the title track. It was more of a ballad. I thought the album was okay. I think I liked the second half of the album better than the first half. I guess longtime fans might score it higher, but for me it's a 7 out of 10. Okay, that is all. Thanks for watching. Please like this video. It helps me with the algorithm. And here's my back wall, which you probably can't see up front when I do my video, so you should check that out. Like this video, subscribe, check out the other video I have linked right here, and I will see you in the next one.